Hello everyone, welcome to another art vlog. My name is Jada and I primarily paint in gouache and watercolors here, and occasionally I share some of the ceramic stuff I do at a local studio. In this art vlog, I share a little bit of this holiday portrait that I'm working on. It's become a little bit of a tradition on my Instagram, but also here on my YouTube channel, where I paint a holiday portrait at the end of the year, usually is around December, and I share the goals that I want to achieve in the coming year. I started out doing this portrait digitally in 2018 because I wanted to improve on my digital art practice, but now I continue on doing this traditionally with traditional art media because I want to improve on my watercolor and gouache paintings, and primarily I want to improve on my portrait paintings. So now I continue on this tradition every year traditionally, and I use a lot of the same colors and somewhat of the same reference. I continue using green hair in all of the portraits. That's never changed. And the green that I'm using now is from my granulating watercolor palette. Last year I used both forest brown and tundra green to do the hair, and this is the same thing I did here. I used my granulating watercolor palette and I use Schminka's forest brown first, and to me it leans more green than brown. It does have like hints of brown and blue in my eyes, but I think tundra green is more brown than it is green, but both combined together makes this beautiful like granulating green color, and I like to use it for the hair. I primarily use my granulating watercolor palette to paint my hair because I like granulation in the hair and I don't like to be super detailed, but when I'm painting the face I stick to less granulating colors. I have an entire palette just dedicated to my skin tones, and I hope to be able to share that palette and all its updates with you. Most of the time when I do paint my portraits, I do a lot of the painting at night, and I want to get better at sharing how I paint my portraits, especially like the face. I usually try to do it all in one sitting so it doesn't take me more than a day or two, because once I get started it's very hard for me to stop. But that's how I end up painting a lot of this portrait at night, because that's when I felt the most motivated to work on it, and I had to save some parts of it, like right now the hair, for the daylight so I can share a little bit more of the practice with you. My goal going into the new year is to still share a lot of my portrait painting practice, but I also want to continue on learning different things. Like I want to practice botanical artwork, and I've been slowly getting more and more into landscape art. But for now, I want to share this portrait because it is a little bit of a tradition on my channel, and it's something that I still want to continue on into the new year. In the new year, I would like to also offer prints and stickers of my traditional artwork, something that I started doing last year, but I didn't really love the print quality that I was offering, or like the paper that I was offering. So I'm gonna be doing a different type of paper, but they're gonna be the same size, like postcard size prints. I think that's all I can offer at this time, but eventually I would like to offer like bigger size prints. I'm also working on turning some of my traditional artwork into stickers, and I'm coming up with different designs right now, and they're just in my head, but I want to be able to offer traditional paintings in sticker form. I really like stickers. I like putting them on my sketchbook, so I think that it would be like a really cool, very small thing that I can offer in my shop for anyone who is interested in supporting me but doesn't want to quite invest in a new ceramic piece at this time. I think stickers and prints would be really cool for someone to purchase from me, and have like a piece of my artwork in their home. There are a couple of new ceramic designs that I want to also offer in my online shop, but until I move and I'm able to check out the local studios in my area, I don't want to make big solid plans on what I'm going to make in the ceramic studio until I'm able to find a new studio to create some stuff. So until then, I'm just going to stick on focusing on my traditional media and what I can do at home, and flush out my online store with more of my traditional artwork like paintings and offer more stickers. In the new year, I also want to start showing more of my sketchbook work. I find that majority of the time when I am painting, I find the motivation to start my, I guess, final paintings at night for whatever reason. Like for this holiday portrait, I started it like really late at night. I just kind of felt this motivation to get started, and it was probably like around like 10 at night when I started it, and I had to like kind of slow down a little bit. Like even with this clip, I started working on the background. I wanted to have some like kind of golden elements, and I was just trying something out. It wasn't in my original plan to do this, but I wanted to do it, and it was really late at night, but I thought this would be a great opportunity to film, and filming at night is not always easy because it's dark and you have to like figure out the lighting and everything. And I sometimes feel like my art vlogs lack in art because sometimes I do my art at night or I work on the final painting at night. I used to do a sketchbook tour and a quarterly check-in, and that's something I want to do again. And by showing more of my sketchbook work in my art vlogs, I'm able to practice. I want to try doing more traditional art in my sketchbooks. I want to try out landscape paintings in my sketchbook and practice more portrait work in my sketchbooks. I had a goal to paint my cats, and I have a whole dedicated cat sketchbook just to practice painting cats that I want to finish, and I want to share that more in my art vlogs. So I think I'm gonna bring back quarterly check-in sketchbook tours just so I can share a little bit more of my progress in my art practice without it always having to be a final painting, because I think that's also very like intimidating too. Like what if I couldn't get this painting right, then I had like nothing to share. Thankfully, I was almost done with this painting and I did finish it that night. I did scrub out the little designs in gold because I didn't really quite like how it was turning out. I felt like the portrait was really soft and the shapes were very angular and it just didn't look right to me. Also, using gold paint just brought out this like nostalgic feeling from like the old art vlogs back in the day, like old art YouTubers when they always used gold in their artwork to like embellish their paintings. It kind of felt that way, and I do want to use gold in my art again, maybe in some landscape paintings, but I want to practice that all in my sketchbook and share that in my art vlogs moving forward. In the future, in a new art vlog, or in the next art vlog, I should say, I want to flush out all of these goals and ideas and share my overarching ideas and goals, and then kind of share like little bite-sized pieces of what I am going to do to help achieve that. I definitely want to be more consistent here on YouTube, and that's one of my biggest goals for next year is to have a video every month. I feel like that's gonna be a challenge, but also a challenge that's gonna pay off really well for my community that I want to build here. And I felt like I've never been like fully consistent on YouTube, and that's something that's always bugged me. So this coming year, I want to at least finish my Back to Watercolor episodes. My Back to Watercolor series was supposed to be finished this year. That was my goal for last year, and that didn't really happen just due to lack of motivation, depression, like things changing constantly this year. I was just going through so much, and my art practice suffered because of that. I don't want that to happen again. I don't want that to be like last year. I don't want this new year to be like last year. I want to be able to feel like I lived and I accomplished my goals. So I'm not going to be super harsh on myself if I don't complete everything, but I'm also going to be making goals that are somewhat achievable. At least I feel like they're going to be achievable. I'm not going to overwhelm myself with too many things to do for the new year, but I do want to be able to look back, like have an art vlog to look back on for the year and see my practice, my art practice, and see what I've been up to. Because sometimes I have to look back on my videos and be like, oh yeah, I did things. I do treat my art vlogs as a type of video diary, and I would like to be able to have 12 videos or even more videos than 12 to look back on and be able to see how much I've grown and what I'm doing with my business, what I'm doing with my personal life a little bit. I know I don't share a lot of my personal life, but I would like to just have these videos be a little bit more for me. And I'm not sure exactly what that really means yet, but I have a feeling that every year I'm getting closer and closer to my goals and what I want this channel to be. And I think the thing I need to start with is just being more consistent and making more videos when I can, and not just be super harsh on myself when I'm not able to. If you're still with me, I have one last thing I would like to share with you, so just hang tight. Hello everyone, thank you for watching towards the end of the video. I hope you guys all have a happy new year and a great start to the new year. Thank you so much for being here and watching to the end of the vlog. Before we go, I want to share that I got my fish vase out of the kiln. Isn't she gorgeous? Very different than what I was expecting. I didn't know how it was going to turn out because I did layer on lots of different glazes. There are some things that I would change. I think if I do this again, I would do it in underglaze instead, but I do love how the fish turned out, the little rainbow fish. Hope it's focusing on the fish. But yeah, my fish vase out of the kiln. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Take care.